soil, especially after the land form construction had been done. Then for soil now, or very clean, we can get the soil from natural forest. Then we will cover the whole place with those soils that were collected from the natural forest. Then we can now plant those fertile remediation plants like the hamper accumulators. Example, a champon. Which a champon, if you want to get it, CSIR can give you the seed. CSIR can give you the direction. Then we can plant it on those degraded sites. Then we can also plant ejama, which is called Aconia codifolia. We can also plant all those ones in the field. Then they'll be able to take up these heavy metals from the land before you do your planting. Then another thing you can also do is you can do the fertile remediation now you use planting or cheaper, but orchard and sand in your own faso. Until you bet me use people today. Charcoal you bet my yam. Then when yama obey you to the biochar, then we can spread this charcoal on the farm. The ones that have been ground, we can spread it on the farm. Then before we apply any fertilizer, so we can mix the charcoal, what is called biochar, together with the fertilizer on the farm. Then once the nutrients are being made available for the
friend then to say in sooner what a horo good no one man na muso obeye bridge nkitu ebi na kogu on ekogu a dan ne ebeye ehon so
me pocho brabiem. Please come again, Prof. You're asking me about.
I say, your friend then in sooner good and what hono. Moses why a dam get to be a nanka quakugu and no babua. Na sense in kugua, yabe then na yamayra and I say a babong bang na and to mamma I'm a howen and no aquanjre.
That's a very nice point. And to end the man, one, we should be able to get all these things here. Stipulated in what's called EIA, and I say momentum management EIA, I send a mining, and the other conduct EIA, not the EIA resource, no, EPA. Now there will be a momentum management plan. On Muna, even them tailings dams small. Now what happens is that there's a way to manage tailings dam, which is done by engineers and even civil engineers and soil and water engineers will be able to, irrigation engineers and drainage engineers will tell you how to manage a dam. So what happens is that when you construct those small tailings dam now, then you contain the water over there. Then you do another thing we call spillage pond. Spillage pond. Now spillage pond, the point is that in one place, oil penaf the area. It's on tail, what is called the tailing. In order to prevent it from getting into the environment, you can construct what is called spillage dam. Okay, you can construct the spillage dam. Then you can also do what is called freeboard. Freeboard in the case you say, or the Emma embankment over. Senabeya or in Sukuguma Onkogu assassinum. You raise embankment. Then apart from those embankments, then you spillage pond. Spillage pond in the dam and why am I? Why then? In sooner we not them spillage pond. Then you can also do what is called soil and water conservation practices. Dam a bit offended then a bit there pureria on any grasses and offended saying other planter obetin ama no water it will conserved. So instead of the plant or instead of the dam to spill the water to become environmental nuisance to affect our vegetables. Then plant grasses now, it prevents erosion. When erosion is being prevented now, then the soil actually the water gets infiltrated into the.
But that's a member Dr. Harrison. Dr. Harrison, I say who will be a person who can near Dr. Mensa kind.
Yeah, that's Mukafanta. I'm the
Kasa way to Maka. Kafante.
Chile Fantin, you Kafante. What the suggestion be brave Abba.
Yo,
okay, with my father na a woodria or Koyusum Nadi, Yibutumna yes wano
yo ma won so kakra
wenti in or chain there solutions are whether to akwaminan currently only problem now ye because you started mining them sustainable solutions here tailings dam na often bibiso often biological remediation no me ye ho adwuma kakra
dem
oh on say orkade butme dia nnua na grass na ade ma watum na watwen dem awudrin wa prevent erosion
yo
okwankora butme afa butme use bacteria onso botu twen awudru pa akowo mu na wono mountain there onam there wonye assassin wa ko evolve for some time nti say awudru ko won ma onkumon nti butuna akofa on nti there's what called biological remediation I butuna use nti okwan ye fado na yeyi awudru fi assassin di bebre kwa na mom se tailings pond tailing dam onyi ho a na some crofo miner ni susu ado ne yehu nti mayi tag ne yakan de babia ye durin
tailing dam na ne wan
and say American de won tutu pond nkakrama ne ofa nsungum na nti de boka kwakor gold wo insuna won kwon wo hom na ono wa constructing in a way there what do certain level nti why in series nti say EMA na wa boy na bia ko good the next one nti oil dem oil wa kanwan nti ono mama awudrin on fence no mu nkwa asase no mu nko surface water no ti dem not na me chere onnam de ya mine no yan fa dem nzama ina yan fa ngu akwan mu onu nti na mande yensu ina asai ti you tag me kende baby ye drin won yan gina yan twen yan stop kakra na yan fa dem solutions ina ngugu akwam ansana ya man nkrofo akwana akwaya mining in terms that people are misrepresenting what you tag was saying that we should ban all kinds of mining no or a temporary halt na yeka dem rebaya yeti them sustainable solutions but to akwam ansana ya mankrofo akọ back to the mine
doc yambre yetia yen sena nsemu wi kwei wo ye chemist wo hwɛ saa nyoman awudura ahyen nsase mu ene niema ebekun etia ebe hawo yen no okwan ben a ye efi nnekwa ahoto beba na yi saa question anoma wi a mento so ba ko na fe me ne wawie na me company fo
me pacho the mechanic say sesi ano se ye ka se yen jojo na yen find solutions it will take a long time we need short term solution in there I wanna what you mining wo nsu na kwai minan or the yapamu ina fiom na ye bia sustainable solutions them okay you organize people into recognizable registered groups na yentu monitor one in terms of one activity na to monitor ye them by in the end you know won't get
be okay
what I say
right indeed so what can you one a large scale mining once you stop one
there be large scale mining no emrano emma kwan em won to be certain things indeed they said the mining this tailings effluent management they have them in place already
okay
into omo they no it doesn't pollute the environment as much as the small scale miners do
okay
now because small scale miners omo say they are when temporary you know they do it indiscriminately na there adeba ko amperifo kan na me no nya adwen say obi tu agudie na say o man alternative livelihood untimi nkoka say onkodua ntos I mean how there
ada na wonti ase
and he say sabi gold no ebesa say aban ama alternative livelihood na say gold no say abai den into the fact say and would 1,000 Ghana a day no nche say ya ma odwuma I was say ma odwuma about 1,000 a day it's not sustainable there's no way we can do that nemo I was say wo chire nipa man hu say de wo ye ni susuansuo ni into instead say you have built your life to spend 1,000 cedis a day but from kakra nti ya ma odwuma wait manya 200 cedis a day I be ma well live comfortably what I say and no yeah something that we have to incorporate into the psychological counseling that you give this. So okay say obi tu fango na onya 1,000 tino oka so ngodu ya board there obenya 200 and no enye sustainable me no munya adwen
ma me misao bio awudura akoye nsum akọ yan saase mun okwan ben ye be ya ebefi ho na ahoto aba
it will take a long time, but the solution begins today. And it starts by stopping the mining altogether. Now, you stop on Sunday, I will see making sure say nobody goes to mine on these water bodies. And only first thing. When you go on that's no particular best settle. Now, until I settle no, I would want to be in from you for quiet with me. LDS sequester sa would be even EDT spraying even though say Ruby one I friend EDT would go so more say would and then no a kabum na a precipitating just say per se yeah those are some of the things that we can do but the first way no and they say yinjai mine no cry won so and ya kwai so the be ya be ma tabidity na akosoro sa no
ma mimi saw last one yen koko yen abro banche sa na ma ya fi ase kom how yen wan hwe se na wo kire se ebedu ba bi wan hwe kura yen koko wo yen to no na se sa asama ba den ni betuma ya ye be bokoko ho ban abro ho ban ene banche ho ban
the sense I was say make sure say the beer you deal anuani beer you di no within like 100 meters no and he said mine beer it take place on say it me ensures at least 100 meters to any farmland no mine be enko so a baby minimize the leaching no the one for leaching I know your first thing second thing is your day above for continue your first day mining agugu akwamu ne we said solution for the future no start today to say the 24 okay ni na ye nemum say yan halt for a while the answer solutions and to akwamu and there's nothing we can do.
Okay. Doc, medawase na menko Professor Ajeho. Prof, wo ho a mpacho yebetima to nka. Prof Ajeho.
Yes, Doctor mpacho mewa.
Yo, Prof, mpacho nia ekwi ene wonso ba bia wonimu de awei. Den na wo hwa mining nankasa wo hwa wontu se etosin ya ebeboa yen ade nyina mu mame ba ko abien na wo de wasam na ba wi na bibia wo pese wo kan kakra bi ne enko
Yo medasi mine ya kakra me hu se etosin ye environmental impact na minua e kan ye no mi tak secretary kan wasam and hadwen ye nyina ye ngintum but ade ba kunso ha yen ayentumi so mpk enema ne ye unlicensed people about 85% of Ghana for our years argument unlicensed is a woman krata bia enti mum ya modern na yen approach yen forming mining cooperatives na yen wo munkasa yen do machi ana tailings dam na se na make a solution this week ya many district officer back of mineral commission ye adwuma o defend ni postgraduate diploma thesis on tailings dam ya ye prototype e won so ayim ayen se eye adwuma imponu ensuo no a e betai amenenum ye betumi kura a recycle ye betumi se amensuo so asen akọ back ame akọ use ne mesre ne se media nso bad press against small scale mine and mass space for dialogue you good stories around but the beyond ya speak company there ya copy bad stories your good stories ya your bomodini ya be encourage others amomoso mo follow it mean follow the good stories of small scale mining so nukuremuni obi engineer ekosu entum but Ghana ade Ghana to global map so for the first time gold mining from 15th century na Ghana the leading producer or you Ghana a leading producer of gold for almost 200 years. I say ya babedi Africa, but unfortunately environmental impact overshadow the good work output na gold in Edeban. Into gold mining today, you free Ghana economy enye Yama small scale miners access to good areas so to me because you over concentration on large scale mining, and also come you push them to the margins. It's and I push one mama cocody in Susi. Into Mumiantinasi, young structures, I want to be you don't want to be a priority because they say you say about 40% of good production. In Suon soon, dear, young gentleman, quiet woman free in Suon so. Me face say ensuo ko mu free ho no ma ne encourage wom ne yemam technology ne yemam training a obetumi aba mainland abe hard rock mining papa aluvia kakra o alliance obetumi aye the tailings dam ade ne the animanim ya aban mineral commission yes support bi wo ho am aware animanim ya aban and support ne yam build more tailings dams ne yam fa tailings dam technology ne yam create awareness ye ne sa eno so ebetumi aboa na over politicization so ye fan perform kakra say be ya aban so betumi enyamere a solve some of these problems enti ade we dey ye reforms bian so mo me mfa ahemfo enka ho because na ahemfo wo mo na krom ho wo mo nim ni obia eye adwuma anse na obia be adwuma na mo nim ne owo na sense ahemfo no so they have been marginalized na legal system wo mo so ase obia kwakra is say probempo engwin mineral commission mikohu na mikotu enti say the ahemfo no so ben mineral commission structures no ho ebeboa ama processing so ay easier because ya sase no na ewo yensam the answer na colonial government ebe take you over the colonial government take you over after independence
yeah our final remarks bra na fe yanko Dr. Mensah.
Yo, my final remarks are the baby say Ghana a crossroads kesiye. Ya crossroads
is Dr. Mensah. Dr. Mensah also.
I'm here. No, the final remarks is about doctor. I'm there. What can be brain? Now, my mechanic there. In order to be able to solve the problem, you investing into post-mining land. Post-mining land use, and post-mining land use, what it tells you, they say, you can reclaim the land not only for agriculture, but you can reclaim the land for forestry. You can use the place also for tourism. You bet me say, assassinate why them no pono. You bet me say to the sense obey a tourist site, people can visit and learn about what happened. What happened with
apart from another them be on
and another thing is there. Let's improve the mining regime, the licensing regime. Small scale miners, let's give them license. And offense instead of say Christia and another Obuasi work Accra, one for small scale mining licensing offices, one from Bra offense a cross port of the mining of the mining. Now we can use self-regulation. Self-regulation is there. Instead of the just small scale mining association in one secretary, one painful, one year then, one thing common. And another thing I want to say there should be mutual of a relationship with large scale mines. Now, when we do that with mutual relationship with large scale mines now, tailings now it is generated from small scale. Large scale mines better top because they use small scale mines. They use technology. It's not able to extract all the gold. So there should be some relationship here. Large scale mines, they can go and buy the tailings from the small scale mines. Then they can also go and recover the gold. What is called tailings trade. And use BB today, Dr. Asante, BB today, indigenous knowledge. Indigenous knowledge, what is it? Oh, the first, now, Obaka there, Tuesday, one go fishing. Well, in school, young friends, students, and I said, Ghana, say, Edwin, the Busiano, the totem, or I said, totem, no, done, you don't eat it. And let's use indigenous knowledge, whereby we can teach people about days to not go to the site, days to take off, and all that. Then we can use local institutions, churches, mosques. If you use the mosques, any churches, now what they should get involved. They want to educate the people about the need for environmental sustainability. Now, after the year, reduce what is called legal pluralism. You get programs in nature then. There were a lot of institutions managing the same resource. Only one resource. There are a lot of institutions that are managing it. Mineral Commission, EPA, Water Resources Commission, Forestry Commission, and a whole lot. Let's have an integrated.
Esemuno, yabetu nsafre mu nyina. Mu ambo aye wo dwumadi mu no, mpanimfo aye Professor J. Oye your friend Professor of Mining, Prof. Asadaya Wode, Dr. Mensa, wonso wabwa ne papa achirechire nsemu ene se no kwan a yebafa Asadaya Wode, Dr. Joe Harrison, Asadaya Wode, wa men hu ewuduru ewunsumu hunsu na yefita eno nkyere se ubetumanom na wanhweni ya na worunum ewuduru yeda wase yeda mu nyina ase yewo yerekọ ofa na etusu ya bien no enu nti momma misima afi yebesi nkonwa no etusu ya bien na yen ahwe parliament any supreme court nsema ekọso na afi yen atoaso momma misima meba yebatoaso.
Ready for something refreshing and great tasting? For your kids' enjoyment?
Angel Cola.
For your graduation enjoyment?
Angel Cola.
Beach hangout?
Angel Cola.
For all your refreshing moments?
Angel Cola.
For your parties, get-togethers, events, and celebrations, enjoy a chilled bottle of Angel Cola. Radio Grandma, today is your day. Over to you.
Thank you. Enjoyment Cola.
Angel Cola.
The Enjoyment Cola. Enjoy all your moments and fun time with Angel Cola. This advert is FDA approved.
In this age, reliable and stable power supply is the bedrock of every development. However, a backup plan should always be for every business that wants to try to hit the ceiling. Peggett Engineering and Company Limited offers that plan. They are the importers of brand new original super silent Cummins and Perkins generators from the UK. Peggett is also the sole importer of comfy air conditions that comes with an inverter. At Peggett, we undertake installation and servicing of solar panels, generators, and air conditions with certified ECG installers. Here, everything is done in a professional way. Call now on 0244 599 124 or 0265 468 434. Peggett Engineering and Company Limited. Locators at Ahinsan Kumasi, adjacent the Kumaruman Rural Bank or opposite the China Mall. Peggett Engineering and Company Limited. The entity you can trust.
When you need a shoulder to cry, run on my pumping, so we try to suicide. Yeah, let bygone be bygone. I didn't see what the button go do, we go straight to stardom. I'm gonna take you to next level. My baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The energy next level. Back baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna take you to next level. My baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't quote this level. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Say
Ghana, asumdue man. Omana, nyamedi ni tumi. Nam, akenifo bi so tise. Osaje for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Anyone ekeka ho. Na de chance won say, or the nipa bebre na dua oman mu na oman ya chede bebre. Sa chede bi ne koko. Achede bi ne sika kokko. Den chemmo timba ene de ekeka ho. Nanso no se yehwa eka yebo sa achede hu no edoso eche mfaso a ebrɛn eyare hosem oman ebekɔ nanim a enye MPP enye NDC enye akuadonko anase enyom mu bia oman ne beye ya ejeme no se wotuwe ankrankre edien na woye ama oman akɔ nanim so oman hu hia ho woti hei oyo abanjuma yeni ebreben na osori ko adwuma abanjuma yeni tumi da mpama mane bono no so epam no down da ho efise enyo no dia eyaban dia na aya na areho se yede sobo ni nyina bo aban no nemum yendwene se oman ne be ya eyemeno mumie fansiye mie fa hoden akokoduro enko emadachi yenchirima ebeba no omo nso ebenya bebipa esi na omo ammo yensobo eye oman mei yemo ehomodin na yenwere ye ho nyema oman no ehia ye ne beye ye o enye ye o efrimi no edamos
Yo, etiefo ni ahwefo yare to yen dwumadi ne so ofa etusu ya bi yen na yen adusu yi yare hwe yen second topic, the big dilemma, sanctity of representation, appointment of politically ohwe ne so parliament nansen a nsam na ko wiyo Supreme Court na niema bi apu afimu yen kai se nsam ya ba kan yen kansam na sene nam ene nsam bi a ema yen ka Supreme Court asam eno ne na yen komo no wo badu no ene Alhaji Honorable Inusa Fuseni ben na ura no yetenenka ewo mframem ni odi so eye yem papa lawyer papa Kweku Pencil or lawyer or mra adwumam afei no to aso no eye Dr. Abdul Jalilu Ateku ono nso ayo kyerɛkyerɛfo awo school pon awo Legon yo sampanifo yi na ne wo baba boayen na yo yene won ba be di dwuma no Dr. Abdul Jalilu owo me yempanifo na aka no yene won bakasa wo framem ensemo ya kanen ene den enche bia and the Speaker of Parliament ochire se mpanimfo banan bi waka won ko ngwagu se wontumi ntena parliament esane se nsɛm wɔ hɔ MPP amanyoku na wɔ parliament no ɛyɛ owura afanyuma kendano no wɔtam asɛm yi ɛde kɔ Supreme Court sɛ court biatan a ɛyɛ Supreme Court no wɔde wɔn asɛm kɔdɔm sɛ ɔnhwɛ na onima wɔn na baabi a nokware da no court no mfanto sɛ na mene woyɛ nim no court kasa wɔn asɛm yɛ mmara na ɛsan so yɛ ɔhyɛ upo umpo ubedi so Supreme Court de wɔn asɛm beto abɔnten wɔbɛyi asɛm na owura afanyuma kende kwae no wɔde wɔn mu yabai ɔfa bi o se speaker nipa banan na o se wɔn fa wɔn konwa ngu hɔ no yeo so mansa ma wɔmra na wɔmayɛ wɔn adwuma na bre enje bia court no asɛm na nkasa na ɔbɛtena so na wabua enuachi speaker ba parliament na ɔno nso de besi gyina bi sɛ yo wo hwɛ parliament wo hia wɔn sɛ wo besi gyina wo hia nipa dodo bi da na ɔkasa akasa no na nipa dodo wɔ parliament na mmom dodo a wo hia no de asi gyina no yo na onibi ɛni nti ɔyɛ sɛ yo ɛne saa de a wetu parliament no ahyɛ da yo wɔbɛbɔ modern na wɔn aba bra ɛsɛm na mmom wo so broni so ɔagyen senadan ɛno kyerɛ sɛ parliament no aka nkonwa gu wonim da wɔbɛba na ɛno akyi ɛna ayi wɔ friend den MPP ku no wɔn so wɔkɔ court ɛna wonyina na court na ahyɛ so bi apa na ta ne nneɛma mmra yo na ɛno ne nyina no betwa mu no yɛn abedu sɛ ne wɔ court na den na asi wɔ hɔ nti enne yɛ ne mpanimfo ahyia yi saa nsɛm ni eba bedwem ho yo ye be fiase akɔ hama no so na mpanimfo a wɔ hɔ no yɛ ne wɔn akasa yo ye bɛkɔ opening wɔ hɔ ɛyɛ owura Inusa Hussein wɔ hɔ a ɔmamente ne nka
Dr. Asah-Asante me wɔ na wɔn design
me huye me bra yo nia ɛkɔ so wɔ parliament ɛyɛ last week no ayi wɔ friend sorry ɔyɛ lawyer ma speaker ɔkɔe na ɔkɔkyerɛkyerɛ mu ne ho nneɛma uhu ne den
first of all man can chill a check ya ma home physically when you kasa keke
that's it
na me danya ko konse ya tiase na minchi wutie fo nyina nyampon hire nyina
that's it
yan democracy ye dia gina ade bebre so but the most important no principle there is separation of powers said there nyina yenim udi awonde ehye nipa ba ko samwa na sa nipa kro no otumi ye otumi wo awonde bebre no this or the hanipa nti yan constitution yi ya boaboa awonde no ama three institutions and the executive and the legislature and the judiciary nti judiciary no omo juma the constitution no edi ma omo ye ade de omo pe omo ye ade de constitution no edi ma omo the executive so omo juma nko obia entime fa juma no enfre omo nsa any executive action so ko young constitutional article 58 na the locus of the executive authority of state or the share of my opinion nisem na omodi the to me as parliament nisem say enye mra so when you say want to me shemra esan church ade de mra no ekire ndi say parliament shemra court no ebe kire judiciary no ebe kire said the mrano parliament na that the parliament dream emma omo share mrano so there are three arms of government na every say yem pese obakofo institution obakofo wo honne eche nyankono yesi obia eni kwan se ɔmfa ne nsa nhyɛ baakofoɔ ɔmo adwuma no but yɛn nyinaa Ghanafoɔ yɛgye atom sɛ yɛkakasa de fa constitution no ho a na kasa no ɛnyɛ clear obi si say obi so si say yɛn nyinaa Ghanafoɔ yɛgye atom sɛ ɛyɛ Supreme Court nko a ɛne na yɛfrɛ original exclusive jurisdiction original exclusive jurisdiction so see obiara ne kwan say differences rival interpretations on the good provisions so obiara ne kwan say oma ade the provision no chira this Supreme Court so almost so chira sa ade no a ene na efre in law final so mo kan final so mo kan binding so mo kan authoritative because mo authority no mo exercise under the constitution in the Supreme Court makofenye afanyo the some the court no or the Korean Canadian say Supreme Court entry party adie Article 97(1) G and H because Obimu say the affected present parliament. Everyone say no. So what interpretations are it will lead to an absurdity. And the intention was to affect the constitution of parliament in the next parliamentary election. We say, oh no, yes sir. Now I want to make occupy parliamentary office. Now I say you want say we need office, we need parliament there, or parliament there would omo ticket so no, only omo pre election so. And the wajah office no. The wajah office no, and the free parliament there because the we on the ticket of party no office no occupy no. Until the we pre party no. And the say why you want a free. The MPP constitution is almost an automatic action. There's automaticity. We are there, and that my partner, and the way he was said there, a lunch or forming a butterfly party. But the way is inconsistent with the MPP constitution. Nti obia eni ho se omencho letter mano ana ohina oto into obia eni ho se omencho letter man or ba an action no wa yin ho ade. So that is the argument. But there are two rival arguments here. Nti arguments no me yemeno na de hin na ya anokre. De hin na constitution no pa kira se sa na pese yenye. A Supreme Court on Kwana or Timikasa. Indeed, many Afro Makon, Yanni Assembia Efasa at the end of home. Because I get an correct who invoke Article 2 of the Constitution, Article 2 1 of the Constitution. Now I invoke Article 130, and the extra one. The Supreme Court will interpret Article 97(1) at the amount.
Lawyer, so we had a course or Supreme Court now. Court on one stay of execution, one reason back when I say Nipebi are going to be denied representation. Now Parliament the more honor so Mujina was more represent the people. Someone Supreme Court to kind now you know what then.
Oh, and no Supreme Court for yeah.
Munya adwene. Adentia.
Because Dr. Asah-Asante.
Yes, sir.
Me knew they were gone together.
Yes.
You were political science department.
Yes, sir.
You name political question. You name say judiciary no. Omo tambia se omodi omo insa eshe Parliament, no the judiciary loses legitimacy. Orders becomes impotent, and it introduces confusion. The Parliament so it weakens the authority of Parliament. Article 2:1 no, any Article 130 no, the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court over Parliament no is of a general nature. Say, Parliament aya adebi na ade no and that emma constitution no. What to make court? Go capture court say ade the Parliament you know. Constitution say Parliament aya say and that emma constitutional. And the moment declare act no unconstitutional. That is all. They declare the act unconstitutional and make consequential orders under that. They must first of all declare the act unconstitutional and make consequential orders. So orders no here now one day actually it leads to high treason. I hear people talking about orders of the court order. Who kind article no? They will make consequential orders. Until many of because that state of execution a supervisory jurisdiction, a parliament, a court no. Say say adebi ma angina ma hwe asem no a then they exercise that supervisory jurisdiction to say that men ya adewe until ya hwe asem no. And are we suggesting that the court has supervisory jurisdiction over Parliament or acts of Parliament?
Sir, representation as some more kind. Also say, Sankrofo Banangi, 4 people no. You deny the people of their constituencies and representation. You na no what you know then. The Supreme Court has been consistent. Now, Obianka says no view. I didn't know you're consistent here.
You're consistent. The first inconsistency is first, that was the position of the law. Mami started from the beginning. Mm-hmm. The position of the law, Kaniano, was that say ye to Abba, Eyi Obia, there's a presumption of regularity. Say, abano omotu ni yi ayi san di pakro no yi nti court no see gise wotume prove say sa ni pakro no omo ayi no yi the court will not nullify the election. Now court no nullify election until the court was very hesitant in restraining a member of parliament elected to occupy office from attending office. And that was the position of the law. Until Judge Question. In Judge Question case, the court restrained Judge Question. So it challenged that principle that earlier precedents, their court no maya, and there were many. Say, expeditious trial. Because we can't deny the people representation. And I agree, because representation is so important. We're Article 97 now. And lead to the declaration of a seat of a member of parliament being vacant. In 20, I agree with them. But inconsistent negotiating undermines our democracy and the rule of law. Just a question case, we say in here, there is more parliament. Because we ask them court. And appeal pending at the Court of Appeal. In the case, but more court parliament. So what is different? What is so different from Judge Prison? And it is for MPs. Okay. Because a speaker no work to me under Article 97 to declare the seat vacant and inform the Electoral Commission accordingly if there's going to be a by-election. So what is different? Number 2, the Supreme Court has suddenly realized that representation is very important. Then, in the Electoral Commission per se on your election in 2020, almost by Parliament, only instrument. You catch you say instrument here, only it didn't capture Trophy, Apafo, Lolobi, and Liqui. And there was the high likelihood said that so Sani Pro representation in Parliament. Almost would have taken steps to correct it. And therefore, representation in parliament. And then, only here representation. So if representation is important, and some people filed at the Supreme Court, at least declare the act of the Electoral Commission as unconstitutional, so that you can make consequential orders. But up to date, yet the Supreme Court has not sat on the matter and made a final pronouncement on the matter.
Lord,
and then,
and
then 4 MPs, rogue MPs, Omoan Kasa, declared almost no vacant, Omoan Kasa. So, under human rights provisions, and particularly, and the election rules of Ghana, say almost normally affected. Yes, almost is normally declared the then you find the majority jumping heads over tails to go to court. I don't see what is their interest. It can only be a political matter.
Lawyer, so member ho bio na menko lawyer Kweku Pento ho. Yo, lawyer Pento, mpacho o ho amamento nka. Yo, ene mamenko ai wo friend den Jalilu, Dr. Jalilu. Doctor, representation Supreme Court kan wasam na wahu watenia honorable Nusa enso aka ho asam. Wadwene ya woden. Supreme Court ni say o take a decision no if you say nipa bi rinya representation is so important. Wadwene ya woden was asam no.
Yo, senior medase mefa affiliation na mencha tiefo na hwefo nyina. The American say representation ade a ehia your parliamentary business no because eno titiminti na yeto aba eno titiminti members of parliament eti omoka yebo mo bibia so mo represent here ko nyina ntumi enko parliament nti ade a ehia so there's no doubt about that. So what he has here, but the American say if that is the reason, because there are two things. Eno ade a ehia but say from some lawyers and so almost HRSNK if I said that be a Supreme Court e buy and na omoni Supreme Court enye adwuma but presentation per se no ade a ehia but say the American say eno ade a ehia say ye ka no say ehia e denti e na so if I say Central Coffee apart for Lipe ni Lulubi for 4 good years omanya representation so what a court is still 4 good years omanya representation so no difference be na ebum because I not make my say we so aya there here for just 6 weeks at the time now be a decision e buy no say be this parliament no be end but we share Central Coffee apart for Lipe ni Lulubi for 4 good years omanya representation so what you say and there have been voices about we share say Imani Franklin Kujo Kwame Asah and others omo eka ho ayi ba ni nyina ankosi aga so nti no me view no say ayade kase president generally ayade ehia but nya me share from the Supreme Court no say so we take a decision I think they should be fair normally justice no you see the court should dispense justice fairly so nti say ehia say e be 4 constituencies here aka just about 6 weeks say be a be call election na say ehia me gitum say ehia then can me expect say they should have done something about the saw. And you say omoka say be a representation nti in omo ye then I think that it cut some kind of offense it's lady say is it does it mean say these 4 constituencies no omo ehia esene nkrofo na ya represent omo representation for 4 good years.
Ndi na wo kire ne say
yes there should be
Supreme Court nya adwene
mini omo ya adwene say ya de ehia but say eno so no mo gina some say yeah then what about constituency na so asem na me ye Niamika say then they should be very fair. Does it mean say they were wrong on in offense so if they are wrong sometime I think they should come out and who say ebia say in a course so ewa ha but be okay say be 6 weeks this particular election never call na new members of parliament that represented for 6 weeks presented in here then what about Crawford now so omanya represented for 4 good years and also a court
yo so what say mu na menko alaji ho alaji question back on home bio. Politically exposed persons. Bibia no men say wakasa wo ho say you nipa bi a wo don akotena Supreme Court wo ofi party bi mu. Yo, men say wakasa wo ho a wani enye ho. But mami mi say questions alaji. In this country unim say bibia am prevent a politically exposed person say you will be nominated to become a member of the Supreme Court. Yo. Now, we use sa nomination no, they bring it to Parliament. Monso na mo sanction no. Say onipei efede Parliament ejenatum onko nonko ye judge with Supreme Court. Onya kwotena ho a mo se case bi wo ho a otena so ya mompe. Adenti na mompe, wompa adenti na Parliament mo approve no.
Well, Doctor, me question here one.
Yeah, who question? Yeah, ode.
Doctor, anu kwero. Say nyina ye wo Ghana, ye wo ebusuafo. Nyaka.
Yo.
Enti say the Jamie lawyer yi. Me wo ebusuafo. Say omo yi me ko Supreme Court a. Na me busuani. Me qualify nti na me call, but me end this ni.
Yeah.
Nti say omo yi me ko court no Supreme Court. Na me court na me busuani ebe pie court no. Nti don't I have a responsibility? Say, me ensure say there's the perception that justice will be fairly delivered. If say omo empanel me to sit on my Busia case, then I say, oh no. If I sit there, it will lead to a perception of bias and prejudice.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that we are saying we are Nipa. You're practicing multi-party democracy. And let's go. No, you're my mate. Who him know?
Okay.
You know him.
I see.
You know him.
Oh, okay.
Yes. No, in fact, his name is Jean. My name is F. Okay. So now, at any time they ever throw political science exams, not dramatic.
Do you say political science?
Political science, no, your law.
Enjoy your mate anyway. That's good.
So, minimally, I'm not saying that it's not good.
Yeah.
But on Mr. Sanim said, oh, no, you're a political activist.
Mm-hmm.
If I know Kasama MP before, if I know the same chambers with Duce, minimally, in the last elections, 2020, Ojinama MP before, in who? In T. One of them normally as a court. Yeah, 4 MPs no. And the MPP majority. Yes, sir. MPP caucus in Parliament. Oh, nobody has a court. Okay, Jew and it's go, justice and it's go, and go over Parliament, over majority no Anna. So one member Parliament. Or was Supreme Court there. Na court no a empanano to sit on the same matter. Don't see interest.
Now lawyer, but I want to say what am problem? My problem is say, mu as lawyers, mu ni so many mrama who can say whether you are politically exposed or not, you qualify to be at the bench. And na FA will nominate you nipa wadanaba Parliament. Mu ni say definitely he will sit on a matter. Nti FA wa ba Parliament ma okay no. Not in a cases where Adena Mumpe. So let me put it this, let me put it this way. Imagine say Justice Geu Sanka Otnaso na uru bibi in the favor was so ma end this year. How would the situation be? Mubaka said no, he's still a politically exposed president and this Otnaso.
Oh, we're ruling against MPPR. And the matter will not go anywhere.
I didn't hear.
In fact, they would have been because the perception, and it's very important in politics and in law, especially the attitude of the court. No, perception is as good as reality. The perception is that overruling in favor of the MPP. The perception is not a negative perception; it's a positive perception that this is the way he will act.
Mm-hmm.
So when he acts consistent with the way he's perceived, that leads to the problem. So,
yeah.
And the problem, no.
Now, and lawyer, me problem, and say, when you say that tendency a bit to my basso, I then na parliament, politically exposed person, no, Momo Fro said definitely or qualify, Nama approve, Nama na continue Supreme Court. So, continue, I didn't think I'm approving in the first place.
So, Parliament say, in your political cases, into the Eddie or Nipa Supreme Court. So there are many cases, political cases no, they come once in a while, except in a politically turbulent country like Ghana. But they come in a while, once in a while. And the cases be brave, which will not call into question the political biases of a judge. So
in the when you say sa problem no, the state need to cure that. Say yempe politically exposed person there. Was Supreme Court because you don't know a day that he will sit on a political matter in the politically exposed person be able Supreme Court. I don't know for say Brasso say we have to make a law to that effect.
It will be inconsistent with Article 17 of the Constitution. You will discriminating on the basis of status or association.
And when this one lawyer so just to Article 17, no, we need to respect that. No, nipa na pass it through no tenase. Why the noise?
The noise is that you see, or nipa, nti also so on him say, so now so no on yet the effort, it will lead to that perception. It will vindicate the perception. Also on nipa, say justices. When you look at the Supreme Court, no, and all courts in Ghana. Justices have recused themselves because on the basis of the fact that Omun says the problem, Baba. Self-restraint. And the judges be ISR. So it's not something new. If you read the cases, you come across many. Say justice, Oviva court not say obedient. Mr. Mintimetraso. Because I never chrono. Meaning the year Mitraso. Even though I do my best, that it will lead to a perception. Never said me home for case no.
Would you say? Would you say? Yo, lawyer, would you say? A Brasson say, yes, the issue of Nkrofubuke say, and let's vote for judges to go to the bench.
In Japan, it's not a new proposal.
It's a recently might be in Mexico and all that.
In Japan, they vote for judges.
Yes, don't you think, say Brasson? Is it time that we call for that so that politically exposed people no yet to Obama on Ngako in Diorua, you know, say or NDC, you know, MPP.
It even give I even think that it will give them more legitimacy because many can say as political science students.
Yeah.
Tell me how not incongruous is the position that Yatuaba IOB. At the Nigerian Parliament. The Parliament following in Kaho in Parliament, Etuaba, a speaker. The Constitution, I'm a speaker, no can say on ya at the or year elected members of Parliament, or year then so another group of people, the Omitana Court, who are unelected. They're not accountable to the people directly. They are accountable indirectly. And then who are not elected, no, they then pass judgment over those who are elected. How is that a democratic institution? How does that enhance our democracy? We must look at ways of improving upon that institution and making them more accountable.
Yeah, but this lawyer wants to say there's separation of powers and checks and balances. And Nunti is an Baron de Montesquieu who say who concentrated power in the hands of one person that person is likely to abuse it. And Nunti also slices of your function is given to other departments to perform to serve as on your check on your power. Was a woman well, you don't understand where say people have elected people to parliament. Nemu ubi no one elected no in court, no only take a decision. Then you are taking away that supervisory or maybe that checks and balances role of that institution. If say, you and I know say Nina and we
no. The Usuzunim said that you need to have countervailing institutions.
Yes.
They can be checks and balances, but if those institutions are not countervailing, checks and balances no engagement. So institution wo say Shiraj. So be a dear and Fatah, and then you that Shiraj is so powerful. It's a check on the conduct of public officers. Yes, sir. But so they serve as a check. But if they are not strong, they can't countervail the executive. Say what they can't. Say what so that's the problem. That's the problem.
Yo, another thing. Given our problems are don't you think, sir, time has come, yes, certain gray areas in the constitution. For instance, you know more than I do, sir, 3 months to election, no, you can't hold any by-election in case it's Ubia resign or something like that. Don't you see that as also another problem? It denies people representation that we need to look at.
No, there must always be a cutoff.
And where is the cutoff?
So the constitution by consensus, no, to say 3 months is enough for a cutoff, because you need 1 month to do the election, and then after the election you need to swear that person in, and in the election year, by this time, by November 7th, Parliament will be going on a break to allow members of Parliament to contest the elections, and they reconvene on the 7th of December, and the 7th of December by the 6th of January Parliament will be. So effectively, so we by election that member of Parliament will sit in Parliament for 21 days.
No. Such a period now, cut-off period, is it not also to deny the people of the representation?
Well, I'm not arguing on that, but I'm saying that as a reasonable people, what is prudent in the circumstances?
Okay.
Yentu tikamgu ana yemasa tam nonko nemfa elections no and settle that issue.
Okay. Mbacho, make the last question. Maybe say, if you say Brasson say we look at the political question principle. Say, look, there are certain things are political in nature, and we want to sit down, craft a certain law, making sure say political questions are political issues have political undertones on the court, so that the court will be tainted, and that will separate that. What was the time I say you to me look at that principle?
When you look at the court decisions, earlier decisions of the court have been self-aware. The courts have been self-aware of political questions and have restrained themselves from entry into political questions. I mean, when you read the earlier decisions of the court, it's just that we have become excessively partisan in this country. And it's my view that the courts are losing the touch with the reality that they need to safeguard homo terrain in such a way that they don't whittle down the trust and confidence people have in them. And then, Doctor, and let me say, CDD Afro Barometer report, one of the trust people, the level of trust people of this country have in the judiciary.
Yeah.
Apart from that's not good for our democracy. That's not good for the rule of law. It means that we can return to the law of nature, where people will take the law into their own hands. And yet, so yes, we don't need a law. I don't think we need a law, but the judiciary have to be self-conscious of the fact that as a democratic institution, they need to up their game and remove themselves from obviously political issues and leave the politicians to deal with their issues. Let the dead bury the dead.
Lawyer, we are so grateful. That was that was it. Yo, I wish you a good day. I wish you a good day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, Jaliu, Dr. Jaliu, the issue of judges. This country, Emma Hukwang said, you bet to me and nominate one. I'm a parliament a veteran. Or a politically exposed person. Oko parliament, oko Supreme Court. Na oko transia. Case ba not transia. We say, hey, oyi NDC ni, oyi PNC, oyi CPP. Are we fair to the bench?
All right. Nyameka say, senior, a man for the issue. I think they are fair in some instances, but I was say there may be two perspectives. I will look at it from two the first I need say I will share the way na yet to abano virtual share NDC and MPP or at the end of most elections we say all the vote boomer is about 97% so that's why I say then nipa na ye be fa omo eko baby they will certainly have some political affairs orientation omo but nyanka was say different between onipa no ye decide brain amano no say professionalism so be who say ejuma ukwakoye no ukwakoye oman to onipa no betumi ayesa akosi the way na was say oye but that would not take away that perception say you belong to one particular
Mami Mr. Wade, yes. So say judges is okotena or MPP ni okotena Supreme Court Parliament approval oko no okotena na case bi ko MPP ni NDC na ono ye MPP ni no DTA NPP na no so the mobile na baso na mgbehuro no
and there say people will not raise issues
adentia
but it's if I say BL say who belong to one particular area, the most I say Ubakasa Atia na say ye. And NDC for from the beginning.
In this all your sad no, yes. All your sad no amount there on your politically exposed person.
But for most cases, we share for who's a Professor Atuba studied be some years ago.
Yeah.
And I mean one of the conclusions what by say ought to be establish some linkage between judges now, parties now, and I say ruling parties now, appointed judge, say do not tend to vote on the side of that particular political party. So what you say? So it means that, and this is evident. I mean, this is research. So what you say? So we can't take away into people who raise issues. And then into the end is for say this time around they are not going to the court. Yes.
Mentiase say ngrofu raise say issue munni say ye problem wo say bia ebe wo wani no wo twa na se munni mra ni mfi wo say obi oye politically exposed no
yes
mama na
so that is why in my view no
na mujetum oye party ni bia say den onya my understanding is say onya mu nominate no ko parliament na parliament clear na parliament no is the boiling pot of all the political shades of opinions and one into so be nyafem wo ha or you politically neutral. That is what it means. See, you continue Supreme Court. Oh, you know, why are you reading into that?
Because the fact say we need to go through Parliament doesn't mean say benchmarks be if I say indicators be in the Parliament be so we say honorable Ekasano. What say be who discriminate against the person on it doesn't mean say parliament are clear onipano that or political orientation na all ban it doesn't mean say I worship bibia they be that's so what you see because never been a parliament be so but the issue is say the entire acquire say a constitution na ama e be say o mampeni to me say or appointee so the problem no a constitution and it's not only about the Supreme Court. So what I said because this year published a book of department Professor Ayediti who's a bit about police service and one of the idea making is IGP so no say no appointment was say so we share Supreme Court justices right we share electoral commission we share SRAJ IGP soldiers in paying for so there are certain constitutional bodies be and was say share how they are appointed because we share Supreme Court current Supreme Court at the moment say we share do know a current president appoint and it's not the mistake of the president a constitution is say a president that be make that appointment no depend for certain processes until but we share the nature the character of your politics and they say mostly so that is where I say ohonsuna yes no near this constitution to me ama your president no say the fact say constitution no say obetimi appoint obiano I say in doing so no I was also you look at certain things say ebia this person because say be a justice jewa you can ask me wa contest say MPP parliamentary for this central and who is also so what you see so obi nso aye this to me the amount even though bet me appoint to Ubia, but I think in doing so, no, say, also with me a boy or mine, now, why we did out certain people, not because they are not competent in the job now, but because of that perception, say, this person is likely. So, in my view, no, all these bodies now, maybe Supreme Court, EC, Shraj, if I say, you know, I think we need to look at for the review of the 1990
But Shadibi,
yes,
what's a perception?
Yes.
Okay, say Chikasa or Casabo, also one fantoso, Nemo Mania. Perception in Yana no quarry. Nemum Senu, then Osadi, say, Muse Esan say, baby, of Fibeninti. Win say, overstretched our conversation on the door. If maybe the fundamental problem, no. The law that allows say obiara to me be Supreme Court judge provided they say we are qualified professionally and all that. Therefore nipa no clear na we no kwa mo say hey o take decision
senior
o take ma wo dia anide wo ho
senior do no wa bisa judges bebre a o be ka say oh say Supreme Court judges and judges take decision o be ka say jurisprudence ebia emra o me say by here in political science, they of course refer to judicial politics. Judicial politics. Politics in the first place. Politics is ubiquitous. Politics will be beer. So what you say? Even so, Pope Kurana, a religious processes be on mefa, but there is politics. The same thing, baby, as parliament politics or executive politics or judicial, and so there is judicial politics. And there's one, if it's a Michel Rosenfeld, was it the court cannot avoid politics. So politics on there, it is there. So it's not a man actually say quite so that but in taking decisions, judicial politics actually say there are so many things that to me influence judges are on more decisions. Obi or same-sex marriage.
How do you reconcile this? Say Judge Bia ya point from party A, Oko Parliament, Oko Supreme Court. Na okotena case between party A and B. Na udima party B. Does it also affect politically exposed persons? Our conversation, can we still hold that?
So every can say sometimes it depends. Say eba ebi onipara ya na ebi okovuti and a bit to me see. So what you say? No,
no here politically exposed person. Oye anonye.
Oh no. Let me just say eba for onipara ya the breast amano no. Ono okwa na ejuma. Ebi betuma ba say obe na ejuma kroje. Onyi fa bibia e mata ho.
Jalu so na menko hamano so na ayi mene wonga yo mpacho braso say phone lines na ebue na obiara wo kasa bi wo ka kire yen yo eye WhatsApp 0200 443513 WhatsApp obetumi dia fa wa bre yen wo hwe yen afiri ne so ya wo so eye telephone number nso ya 0551669325 ya mesre se ofra boarding na kire ba bia wo kasa fi enefe wo kasa nan so mempese mesrew manyo yawo menye abufu yo
hello
yo mbacho no wo so no omuni ding na onjire ba bia wo kasa fi
yo wo so mo ye fe no
obani manti wudin no obetuma timu biewa Daniel you Miru akasa na okasa fi okasa Miru Daniel wugina baby papa anka yete wo ni ye emze wo hama kaswa yo mbacho kasa
yo ni program ni se ni disase anyenye bia judges no so mu point o mu di ko chief we aye interest ma o minor na say interest ma ntaku bi mu so chief uti me say sisia they say we say wa ko judge ya kwa point ya vetu o ni ma wa fa nyama bi ne so akotena sia wo ho na say the case grewa ni disase aye accept ko bi no ni so bi asem ne fenchim and I say fan say fu party binti and ofu the binti ni udi asem.
Oh wait answer wo ho ma wo answer wo ho ne say judge bia ni wa okotena kunwa no so ya otena se onno na okoye nade oman no ho oman adwuma no koye nti ne ebu oman no e no ye na mraka na ne fe abo man eno ye asem titia ni amra kan eno ne abo man
de amra ne kan
eno ne abo man mra ni se mfa kuruwa yi nsi ha judge na ka kire wa eno ne abo man ne bi se mra what is a law is nothing but the will of the expression of the people ni ankrofo se enye hon ene ye ho nti judge no ka asi abo man
no chief what you ta chief adie kakao because ayo because me that me team
yo that's it yo Dr. Teku mpacha okasa
yes so until nyameka any sense so that perception no e wo bit make say bia out of several cases no e bia be 1 2 be and na be judge be at the center the other side but what because
no so wunye ni say yes party a judge na nkasa amanon ne kasa mfa won kwan so no won so begeze oh yeah it's not so a politically exposed person no you why corrupted mamen nko hamana so na me obi woso mpacha oni woso no money ding no nkire ba bi okasa fi
hello
yo mpacha ma won so kakra kire wuding NFA kire ba bi okasa fi
me di ami mu se
mpacha wuding the den hefa na okasa fi
hello your family brother Guma Asante Manfo
yo mpacha ma won so kakra
me kasafra Asante Manfo your family brother Guma
yo brother Guma mpacha ma won so yente nti kasa de nkakra oh Asante Manfo hamana to oh obasanga you Dr. Jalilu
all right so basically once that perception exists enti na me
yo mpacha kasa
mpacha your friend is Haruna the kasa fini wapi
miura kasa
na me mpacha me problem ni say you can MP minority in the majority mo nyina mo ye adwuma ma o man no enti say Asante for us chan Asante na say eno nti the mo frɛ ho na che say adwuma na wo ye na ya je firi wisdom na say bia tumi a wo de pe wo ho na ya je firi wisdom na be wo ya eno nti etimi ba ne sa me so ma dwen kyerɛ no
yo yeah that's it miura doctor
so to avoid once that perception exists no so creative problems so because based on this perception no in the one party say the afi the yakwa election go Supreme Court because ultimately nature say some trust and confidence be no omu lose in the based on the perception so to me the perception no internal who say news of the kind no can say in law in politics perception there nyanya anka yanko field yanko ye public opinion polls based on perception so
yo mpacha obi woso
yes
mpacha no woso no omoni ding no nkire ba bi okasa fi jina baby ye emse hamano etwitwa sisi na tobo asekasa yeritie o bacho odin de den yo doctor koso
right so because of that perception that you know that is why in my view no constitution I was say na you take that power of appointment from politicians no ye emfiri omo ho no mo
yo doctor mame fa nko political question doctrine say America no mo nga hyehye ohun ze niam bi wo ha say Supreme Court ne bema obefi won na ne nsa ho ayefi sabe enu nti oyi sa niam ni nyina fi wo no se court no na adwuma ete so ye nkwan ni mame fa nkomon mentam koto ba bi ba akoma wo niam pese me de kan ze ugye di se bra so se wohwe America Supreme Court no judges ne 9 wotena case bi aso nti ye cap court no 2 afei wodi cases number of cases a year yo minim say asakra name say na 50 cases a year yo yen court yi se ye beka no kwara dan ye tie ye mama chief justice o se judge bi o ti case thousands so mi jedi say so opening onyankopon yen amon pa ya mana obetumi kura yare isa se do so dodo nti ade nti na ye nti Supreme Court no ngadwuma no so na ye nye won say oh say adwuma obetuma de be 20 cases anase na mum se biribi ya ye hia won ye fra won awobeba entama ba di case na ukok amanga horoso ya bi wo constitutional court Supreme Court nenen ehwe constitutional cases anuanen bo hwe ba bi kakra unyin se bra so say ye nkomo no ko
yes e dan bi ka de say ni nyina no be kwa ko gina say a constitution no and there was a review. I think there have been attempts to review the constitution, but we say politics a bit dim. So I think the review process say review constitution no. Now it may limit streamline them because you are operating constitution for about 30 years now. So what you say? And I think say and never be gray areas be one man and as challenges be you face no. I was say you na to yes and never be brave. And I think that this is one of the political to me to me so that they can be effective in dealing with certain matters and they can deal with them. So but okay, have just one judge at about 1,000 cases. So I mean
exactly eventually. Yeah. Ne wo ho bio ne say eno me bisa na WhatsApp ai mame kasa ye kan nyina mame usamri 1 minute na yenko.
Well, nya meka ne say those bodies na me boy no emre aso I was say your constitution no I was say review na appointment by your friends politicians no na ye omonsa efrim na either maybe in some other jurisdictions no maybe to me maybe a constitutional offense and an independent body be a representation from maybe a bar maybe a teachers unions maybe a civil society and various other identifiable groups no or to me about I mean we can put I mean to if I said bit me a day be a bit me creative be a more a year and basically because once just imagine the last 2 elections Yako Supreme Court be our appointed judges or no on one and a in the case say even judges no be in the case in that perception no so I think that we need to take away that appointive authority no from politicians either we go the election way by election no so and also and so say if it is going to be like that exactly some jurisdictions will be more independent be identifiable groups maybe a student union
yes
it could be through election and I say be a identifiable independent body be a
doctor
to me
that was Medina Casafri so ada ubiase won etie yen won ehwe yen ni titiriu eyem panimfu anne wobabu ya mesi nkonwa ni edi nkasa ho aseda ya wode ye aseda ya munyina mode ye ka ansa ne yede asem beba wie ni ye se brodo bie ni wa esen angel bakery na edem ahuru bebre ebi ne butter bread sugar wheat ene cocoa na wo hwehwe won a wokọ pig farm abedi pele down won sabaka won one telephone Hamani 059114719 026227414 Waka brodo dia enuane Angel Bakery edamu baako mu amutie yen mu amohwe yen asedai mode afi mpanimfu a moka me ho na mu chinchimu mfiri madwumadi ekoso pepepe no asedai mode yedi onyankopon yedi mpaibo tamachi se ewurade nyamadom na debiara dan yeto nsa yeframa na maba boya na yin asom ayomen omen ye me no de yensom
Oh boys, on the beat.